Hello, everybody, and welcome to session 8 of Ellseworld. Thank you very much for joining. I'm Elliot. It's me. I'm going to be your DM for this evening, and hopefully for every other session of Ellseworld. If I'm not here, something has gone terribly wrong. Before we get into the game, I'm going to do a quick little recap. But before even that happens, we're going to introduce our players and their characters. We're going to do something a little bit different today as we go around. We're going to introduce our players, then our characters, and then we're going to do a little game where we describe, or the characters will describe, what they would make for a person if they were to cook them a meal to try and impress them. So starting with the lovely person on my right, Kane, take it away.
Hello, it's me, it's Kane. I just stole its intro, sorry. I'm not going to do the wheel this week because it was Pride yesterday and I couldn't go, so it's going to automatically land on donating to a charity. So I'm going to give £10 to a charity called Gendered Intelligence. They're a UK-based charity who are helping to improve the lives of trans and non-binary people across the country. It's run by trans people. It's really, really cool. They helped overturn a bill literally like 3 days ago in the UK, so they're really awesome. So I'll do that during the stream. I'll also put a link in if you want to donate as well.
Have a point of inspiration for that. That's a nice thing.
Oh, thank you very much. Happy Pride. I'm sad I couldn't go. Carly Rae Jepsen was there.
Who are you playing?
I'm playing Reed Bogwater. They're a little fairy druid. The art down in the bottom right is done by Said Idiot. Check them out. She's really cool. If Reed was going to cook you a meal, they disappear off into the forest for maybe half a day and return with a bowl full of suspicious-looking, slightly gelatinous green fluid, mostly made from a series of different leaves, like nettles and things like that, mushrooms and spices. It would look horrible, it would have the texture of frog spawn, but it would taste absolutely brilliant.
Nice, well done. Hey, I'm Dan. You're going to have to bear with me this stream. I've been at a festival for the last 4 days and oh god, am I feeling it. I'll be playing Quinn, the changeling wizard, who is now an enchantment expert. And the meal that they would probably make would be a family style, like super hearty, like broth with like potatoes and carrots and leeks and lots of veg. We'd probably cook it all together as a group and kind of, you know, all pitch in and make it and have this huge pot of stew. And the art that you'll see going around is done by the wonderful Michaela Smoshu. Go and check them out. They do lots of great Safe for Work and SFW stuff as well. They're a really good artist and a great person. Go send them some love.
Hello. I was at the same festival Dan was at, so apply the same, you know.
It's going to be a high energy stream today.
What time is it, Jams? My glasses don't work. 25
yeah, 7:35.
7:35. Is that exact?
That's exact.
Good.
Bang on Tom time?
Yeah.
Wow, that was lucky that we bang on time.
Yeah. It's flexible.
It's not Tom time anymore.
Oh, shit. Move on.
My fun nature fact this week is that there are 12 times more trees on the planet Earth than there are stars in the Milky Way.
12 more trees.
There's 12 more trees.
They counted all of them.
You should be concerned as well because they're really close and the stars are quite far away. So, I'm playing Appleby Oakwood. He is made of soil. He is. And if he were to make you a meal,
God.
I have been concerned about that.
Yeah.
if he would, he eats.
That is a good question.
He eats. He fucking ate that shit up last week. If he were to make you a meal with the express purpose of trying to impress you, I think the meal would be mostly Swedes. But if he was trying to impress you, I think it would also contain like an item that you've been looking for like a little while.
Inside the food.
Yeah.
Like baked
That's
in.
incredible.
Why? But my keys are inside.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, thanks,
I would
Appleby.
be impressed with that. Actually.
This is mostly Swedes, but how did you get my keys? I think is the main vibe. The artwork was done by Joaz JPEG. On Instagram, they do really cool, eerie character art and character drawing. You can see them just across the side there. Cal, hit us with some knowledge.
No. Hi.
Moving on.
I'm Cal. I'm playing Shadow. He's a Loxodon rogue of jet black lookingness.
We're all doing really well.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm in a dichotomy really because I'm meant to be saving my intro bit until next week.
Okay.
But if I tell you what meal Shadow would make, that's me doing my intro bit for this week.
Well, this
So-
is my intro bit.
This is Elliot's intro
Yeah.
bit. This doesn't count, so I'm still going to do my intro bit next week. But this week, if Shadow was trying to cook you a meal to impress you, it would be haggis and potatoes.
Really?
Or, alternatively,
Tatties
stone-cooked pizza. My art was done by Artie Farty. You can see Shadow looking fucking incredible. Rolling around on the slides. Go check out Artie Farty on Instagram and other socials, wherever they may be.
Links down below, I believe.
Links down below. Please do donate to Gendered Intelligence. And Jamie.
Hello, I'm Jamie. I wasn't at the same festival. I'm equally tired. I am playing Coroner. I'm going to need to take the headphone out because it's confusing the shit out of me. I am playing Coroner. They are the just androgynous aligned Warforged cleric of the grave. They are here to do stuff, and if they were to cook you a meal, they know what they're doing with an alchemist's tool, so they would brew you a potion of nutrients. So it gives you everything you need to keep
nice.
going. No fuss, just like this will help you survive.
Like a
Protein
Huel.
shake.
Yeah. Yeah, just a Huel. Like, there you go.
Would you say Coroner's androidinous?
Oh.
I will now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, James.
Who did your artwork?
Oh, really bad weather _art on the Insta. They're very good.
Cool. Hi, I'm Jams. For legal reasons, I change my gender on a weekly basis, and this week I identify as a sleepy baby. We've all had a long weekend. I am playing Rodeo, the Dragonborn gunslinger, and if she was going to make you food to impress you, she would make you buffalo sticky ribs. The kind that's just like a huge slab of meat that you cook on a spit over a campfire. Really sticky barbecue sauce, all of that stuff. And because she's a Dragonborn, of course it's going to be incredibly spicy for anyone who isn't of a lizardous nature. But still delicious nonetheless. And the fantastic artwork that you can see scrolling around on the doobly-doo when the time comes is done by Sirline and Salaka. Absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to ask about it next week. We've got some new Rodeo fan art that's come in recently that I'm going to circulate at some point. Some people have done some absolutely fantastic artwork of Rodeo recently, and I would like to showcase them as well. So
We can get
stay
that on the
tuned.
slideshows for sure.
If I'll send it over to you guys, and stay tuned for next time because we will slot those in as well.
Real. Well, that's all the player introductions done.
Just quickly a little bit more up on me and James.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you're on max, so I've turned everyone else down a little bit.
Sweet.
Thank you very much for all your introductions. That was lovely. And we'll get cracking into the session once I've done this short little recap. So,
Also, sorry.
Oh, yes,
There
no.
are ways you can influence the stream as well. Going around on the slides, you'll see that for 150 bits, you can give a player or the DM advantage or disadvantage on the rolls. Or for 750 bits or a £5 donation, you can give a nat 20 or a crit fail to a player or DM. But there are other ways you can enhance our game and give us your money.
I can tell you all about that. You can subscribe to our Patreon. We have one of them. It's the value of 28 to 35 votes for you if you were to pay us normally. You can get that for fuck this up, Rory.
Give us some money monthly
give
and
us
you can
money
tell us what you want us
and
to do.
Yeah, you get in a poll to give us either a nat 20 or an advantage or a disadvantage or a crit fail, and that goes to a player every week. This week, Cal's left the room. Can you hear me, Cal?
I can. Hello.
You're getting a nat 20, Cal.
I love being a rogue.
And I'm getting an advantage.
Lovely. Right, now that's all out of the way, I can actually do the recap. So, as you may have seen if you have been keeping up to date with Ellseworld, our heroes arrived in the coastal city of Ria Priz in the Golden Kingdom just a day and a half ago from where we are currently at. Timeline-wise, in that day and a half, they've had some intrigue, they've had their employer captured, rescued, and they have also seen a great rift open up in the sky and spit out a figure that is now known to Quinn and the rest of the party as Aldous Cragmane, a Vaktari who is a kind of personal guard and advisor to the Princess Illyria, the figure that has been missing for over 100 years now, the heir to the dwarven throne of Yarak, and key to securing peace across Ellseworld. In this time in Ria Priz, you've done some investigation. You found out that the perfidious organisation known as the Crimson Gallants are also after these people coming through these rifts and seem to be hell-bent on stopping any extraplanar beings from arriving in and existing into Ellseworld. As your investigations have gone on, you discovered 2 different sects of these gallants throughout the town, destroyed pretty much both of them as you have gone through, and sort of saved the day so far, securing Aldous, Faisal, and Digby, keeping them safe in a place known as High House, the home of a magistrate known as Lysra Drackhart, and that is actually where we are going to pick up after you have had a long rest here in this house, coming into the dead of night after you killed 2 strange eyeballs that seem to be following Appleby after his disappearance and kidnapping with a certain armoured individual. So yes, that is where we'll pick up kind of during/after this long rest. Rodeo, I believe there was something you would like to do during this long rest.
Yes, if there's anything that anybody else wants to do, they can go first, because Rodeo will probably do it as we're leaving.
Cool.
Just as like a final kind of goodbye thing. She wants to talk to Lysra, basically.
Okay.
So at some point she will like take her aside, probably as well, like packing up to leave as like a last minute thing. So if anyone else wants to do anything first, go ahead.
Cool.
While
yeah.
We're snoozing.
This rest would probably take place, from the late afternoon after you finished your fairly dramatic fishing lesson with Tayet Duet, which kind of ended in the late afternoon. And as you plan to skip town in the night, this rest would kind of end around 2 a.m. Anything else anyone would like to do during this rest?
No,
cool. Then, as the rest kind of wraps up and you all begin to kind of pack your things.
One thing I would like to ask rule-wise,
yes,
because maybe you do it slightly differently. Do we do it when we level up that we just max heal at that point, or do we stay where we are?
As soon as you level up, you're at full.
We did also just have a long.
Yeah. I just thought like how we playing it for this campaign.
I always like to play it World of Warcraft style. You level up and you're back on maximum. As this rest kind of wraps up, you will start to kind of arise from your various kind of positions of slumber, rest, however you would take your long rest, as you start to pack your bags and think about leaving this this town that's been your home for the last kind of day and a portion. As
it's only been a day.
It's been about now.
It's been a day.
Yeah.
As we come into this day at 2 o'clock in the morning, this is your now your 3rd day here in Ria Priz.
Okay. Well, we've certainly made an impression, haven't we?
48 hours of chaos.
So the kind of you see as Faisal, Digby also kind of packing up their fairly meagre belongings, as they've had quite a bit kind of taken from them, and after their kind of various captures and rescues, they kind of have a relatively light load. You see Aldous has nothing on him at all, so has pretty much nothing to pack up. As kind of Lysra is watching this kind of going on, you do catch her eye, Rodeo, as this kind of rest comes to an end.
Rodeo gets up after she's kind of sorted out all of her bags and stuff, and will kind of wander on over and kind of lean in and be like, you got a second before we hit the road?
Of course.
Take her into the corner. It's not like super secretive, but she just kind of like wants to be away from the group a little bit. I just want to say we are really truly grateful for all the assistance that you've granted us over the past few days. I apologise for our the impression that we've made upon this town, despite the fact that we have not been here that long. and I do apologize for any intrusion that we've made on your perfectly lovely town. But I am truly grateful for the kindness and the hospitality that you have afforded us. And I hate to impose, but I do have one final personal favor to ask of you.
Well, you are most welcome. As far as I'm concerned, you have done good for this town. The Gallants are, they're not what they used to be. They don't seem to be aligned with what at least my organization believes in. So I appreciate your assistance in that regard, and please feel free. What do you require?
Well, when we first met, you correctly identified me as an individual of justice. Not exactly an individual of the law. I consider that to be a very different thing, but I think our definitions of the two words do line up somewhat, and you handed me a bounty for an individual that you are interested in locating.
Indeed.
And
Thief.
Indeed. And it has occurred to me that perhaps I could do the same to you and ask you for the same service.
That seems fair.
I also happen to be hunting down a thief of a kind. Now, I don't expect him to have come this far out of the desert, but I expect a person like you in such a high position in this town probably has contacts in the area surrounding, some resources, more than I have as a, cranky old wanderer, barely anything to my name. All I got is my bag and my gun. And I feel like your knowledge might be a little bit further reaching than mine. So, and she reaches into her pocket, pulls out her battered old leather notebook, and pulls out a scrap of paper and hands it to Liza. And it's basically a handwritten wanted poster.
Okay.
So it looks the same format as like the printed ones for the missing people that you would have seen on the boards earlier. But it's very clearly like handwritten, done in like charcoal. So there's a sketch of an individual on the front. And it's not bad. She's not like an artist, but she's, like kind of like a police sketch, I guess. So it serves its purpose. There is a likeness to be identified there. So she hands that over. And she says, any information that you can find about this here individual, I would most appreciate it if it made it back to me.
Of course.
I would pay most handsomely for anything that I can find about him.
This person, may I ask what he took from you?
Damn near everything.
How is everything that fucking Rodeo says just so effortlessly cool? All I got is my bag and my gun. Oh my god.
I'm doing my best.
It's so good.
Well, you have my word, and I will certainly keep an eye out for you, not only with my powers as a magistrate, but I will send word to the other Armagiri and see if anything comes up.
I thoroughly appreciate it, thank you.
My pleasure.
Is she gonna ask about the other thing? No, I don't think she is. She trusts Liza, but she doesn't know her well enough to ask about the other thing. But she's handed over the little...
Ask her on a date, you coward.
No,
She, as it's kind of like you
she's a
almost
half-orc, isn't
begin
she?
to turn away. She's a full
Full-orc, yeah.
As you kind of begin to turn away, she kind of equally, I have something to ask of you.
Fire away.
I have a prisoner here in High House that you have brought to me, and
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
the
asking, I wanted to ask what you would have me do with him. Phylon Elandir.
Well, I believe our current plan is to take him with us.
Very well.
At least for the time being. I wouldn't like to impose on y'all further and then make him stay with you. I think we can get a little more usefulness out of him before we turn him loose. He's just a kid. I don't think he's all that dangerous on his own. I don't think any of them are all that dangerous when they're on their own. But I think we're gonna keep him close for a little while and see if we can't convince him to be a little friendlier toward us.
That seems wise. One word of advice, though.
Mm-hmm.
Do not underestimate the Gallants.
Oh, I do not intend to.
There is a reason their organization has lasted.
I can imagine. Well, I appreciate the advice, and again, thank you for all that you've done for us. And she'll take a hand and kind of properly
She takes it and kind of grabs
handshake.
wrist to wrist.
yeah, Predator handshake.
And the two of you kind of break off after that, and she kind of goes to her manservant and kind of begins to talk to him about a few things as the remainder of this kind of rest begins to wrap up. You will pack your bags, find the rest of your belongings, and you will seem pretty much ready for the road as we come to the end of this long rest in High House.
Would anyone have been listening to that conversation? I know I kind of took her off to one side, but we didn't leave the room, so I don't know if any of you guys would have seen that and been like, time to
Coroner would have probably
hear it, yeah.
Coroner would have probably heard it just due to the nature of their past perception and the fact you didn't leave the room. But as a kind of private conversation goes, I don't think anyone else would have picked up on that.
Fair enough. Would Coroner, I don't know how nearby Coroner would have been to see what I handed over. Probably.
Give me a perception check.
I didn't see it. Perception's 11.
11. Yeah, you
Maybe
do
a scrap of
you do
paper.
see the kind of
Scrap of
exchange
paper.
of some kind of item, but you don't see what it is.
Okay, fair enough.
So yeah, as this rest kind of wraps up, where would you guys like to go?
2 a.m. using.
It's 2 a.m. in the morning, pitch black outside.
Skip town.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
So
Pick up the prisoner.
load him up
Okay.
into the cart, probably.
So as you kind of
Still tied up. We're still
Lysra kind of
very much hog-tied.
leaves the room for a few moments, comes back into the kind of this main kind of lounge area that you've all been staying in with Phylon Alandir. He looks okay. It doesn't look like he's been mistreated in any way, shape, or form. Stripped of his armor entirely, you see as he's in these kind of plain, kind of beige robes that you would think that this must have been something that Lysra just had lying around her place, as he has been completely stripped of his gallant garb and obviously all of his weapons too, manacled at both the hands and the feet as he kind of comes clinking into the room. How do you want him? Manacled, or do you want him a bit more free?
This'll do for now.
I suppose if he behaves well, we could always treat him to walking.
She comes up to you and hands you what appears to be 2 keys,
Nice. Okay, cool.
which
We're okay.
she kind
Puts
of
them in our pockets.
explains. One to be the kind of key for the hand manacles, and the other is the key for the foot manacles.
Unlocking his death.
Stick it in him and he dies.
It's a small knife.
Well, I wish you all the best of luck. Where are you headed?
That's a fucking good question.
The golden tooth,
Going
I
to the
thought.
tooth, I think.
Correct.
Yeah.
Head to the tooth.
To see Dragon Cake.
See the dragon king.
Well, that road is quite safe. I think you will. Hopefully, you should be okay.
Can't be sure. We passed a quite large dragon en route through on my way here, so we'll see.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
What's the worst that could happen?
Get
don't
eaten by
say
a
that.
dragon.
That is quite an unlucky thing to say, Quinn.
I'm sure I could calculate other probabilities. If
Please
you
do
give me some
not.
time.
Please do not.
You see, as Aldous kind of, upon hearing that about the dragon, a dragon? You saw a dragon in the tooth? And he kind of looks up to Faisal and Digby. Faisal kind of looks back down. Digby also kind of giving this quizzical glare at Faisal, being that he didn't see it as well. Kind of, oh, yeah, yes, of course. There appears to be a rogue dragon in these parts. A green one. Seemed to have stolen quite a bit. Trail of loot seemed to be following him all around. Something to bring up with the man in charge, shall we say. Or the dragon in charge. Shall we head off then?
Yeah, Lysra, do you have any tips for surviving on the road? Anything we should keep an eye out for? I don't know, you just seem like you know things.
Bandits,
Oh,
slavers,
no. Okay.
rogue dragons seem like a big one.
Yeah, no, the road dragon was cool. They just like flew over and was all big.
Well, as long as it doesn't come down, then you should be alright.
Okay. But the other dragons I've met have been lovely.
Yes, well,
We can't all
Yeah.
be this cool, young'un.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to the trip. So that's all I had.
you see as you kind of like being walked out here now, out through the kind of atrium with these kind of armaments and the trappings of Lysra's martial life. As you kind of exit High House here, a bit of a solemn note as you see the kind of doors close behind you. One last look from Lysra as you head out into the night of Ria Priz. You can hear from the tavern. This seems to be the main source of kind of light and noise in the town at this time of night, and it still seems to have a fair bit of hustle and bustle. The streets, though, fairly empty as you head towards the portal on the side of the cliff.
Just as we walk out, Applebee's just sort of in an awkward moment of silence. Applebee would just sort of go, so just to be clear, are we not going to discuss those eyeballs further?
We did to an extent, but there's not much more that we can discuss without knowing who sent them.
If I can get into a library at the Tooth, I can always read up on them.
Maybe they were the eyes of the eater of faces. Once the face is gone, what's left is the eyes.
She didn't
It's
have
probably got
one
an
of
exist
those.
eyes, really.
If I was to postulate a guess, I would say that you were being observed. Being that there were eyes and all.
Oh, yeah.
You are a performer, and a quite famous one.
You think they were fans?
The fans are going wild.
Applebee does Twitch streaming now. He just didn't tell us.
I hate
So-
fans that just follow you around and don't see anything.
You said it's pitch black outside. Are there like streetlights or?
There are a few lanterns around. It's not a very well lit town, being that it is kind of just mostly jetties and shops. You do see kind of a bit of light spilling out from a few of the houses, things like that. But it is pretty dark out here.
Cast light on my tiara.
I was going to say before you do that, shall we stealth? Seeing as we're trying to
Spell
be...
light on my tiara.
You kind of like go up and Cora like catches your hand as you're about to put it up to your tiaras.
That is not an optimal way to stealth.
Does anyone like not be able to see in the dark?
Yeah.
Oh, that's more than I was hoping. Okay, follow.
It's just
the,
us two with dark vision.
Yeah, we'll go at the front, or maybe I'll go at the front. I can dust around. They can follow the glowy dust.
Oh
And
yeah,
then you
you're
can
always
go-
faintly sparkling, aren't
Yeah,
you?
It's,
you
it's
go
light
there.
enough that you can see. It's
Oh,
just not
it's
like
great visibility.
optimal conditions, shall we say.
Alright, just
okay.
follow the sparks.
As you all begin stealth out of Ria Priz, could you all give me a group stealth check?
I get it, it is.
Whoa!
Oh no!
Oh, mine's at this as well. I forgot because I'm flying for this bit.
I'm
Oh,
going
there's
to
the sparkles.
Yeah.
I'm going to use my Patreon advantage to redo one of them.
Yay.
Thanks, patrons.
Cheers, Patreon.
Wow.
That really improved it.
Nice one.
Reed,
That's just an 8.
an 8. Quinn,
15.
15. Nice. Apple beans,
11.
nice. Shadow,
30, 20.
they 20.
I think
Expect
it's
nothing
30
less.
then. Jesus Christ.
Shadow, not Shadow. Coroner,
From a crit fail to a 14.
14. Nice.
Nice.
And Rodeo,
Thank you, Patreon.
23.
23. Ooh,
Nice.
Nice.
Thank you, patrons.
Well, so you are relatively stealthy as you kind of pass through the town of Ria Priz. The darkness definitely helping you out here, and the fact that the streets are relatively empty. You see a goblin or two, most of them worse for wear at this point of the night. You see the ones that are out on the kind of jetties and streets of Ria Priz do seem to be kind of either bent over, vomiting out onto the ocean floor, or making their way back after a rowdy night at the Risen Wreck.
Stay classy, Ria Priz.
What a great memento to leave on.
Watching a goblin vomit into the ocean.
Pleasure to have you here, guys. As you kind of
Someone give some.
as you pass through the rounded.
I've just realised a horrible flaw in the build plan for Shadow.
Yeah.
He hasn't got dark vision and it's not included in his subclass.
Oh no, it's not.
You're gonna have to get yourself some of those goggles.
Fucked. That's fine.
As you
I'll
pass
work it
through
out.
Ria Priz and you get to the cliff face, which has this circular hole carved out of it that leads you back to the pathway where the 6 of you all met up with Faisal. You kind of pass through, once again, through this tunnel, which shows the kind of construction of Ria Priz and these kind of dwarven murals that are engraved onto the sides of this tunnel. As you pass back through, the guard at the other end lifts up his halberd as you pass back through out of the portal, and you're left with this kind of green hillock behind you with Ria Priz firmly at your rear now as you head down the pathway back towards the car park of Ria Priz, or the carriage park, shall we say, to make it a little bit more fancy. As you kind of head down this pathway, you are greeted by the sight of a few little campfires as you kind of go into this car park area, and you see as a few different mounts and beings are scattered around this fairly open clearing in the trees that is about 150 meters or so away from the entrance portal to Ria Priz. Instantly, something that draws all of your eyes is this enormous semi-scaled, kind of leathered creature that sits to one side of this car park, a campfire set before this. It looks like a rhino in shape, but the tail is much longer and ends in this sort of barbed spike, and the head, rather than being a sort of normal rhino's head, you see this almost lizard-like head sticking out of the neck of this rhino, as you see this rhinosaur sitting there kind of almost cross-legged, like a kind of loafing position like a cat would do, just sitting there on the floor. And this, what you can see from the firelight lighting up this creature is this sort of blue individual sitting there kind of leaning against this large creature as you all kind of reach this kind of like clearing. You see as this blue individual kind of reaches and waves out, especially to you, Shadow. Hello there!
Azori,
It is good to see you, Shadow.
how's it going?
I am well. It is... how did your questing go?
Gesture.
Come in.
And I gesture at the group around me. Yeah, alright, I think. Did what I needed to do, met some friends. This is Azori, and the rhinosaur.
You see now, as you get a bit closer, this blue individual coming towards you. You see not only does he have blue skin, but while retaining a humanoid kind of physique in terms of arms, limbs, arrangement, and head, he is not human per se in terms of his facial structure. He has instead of hair, you see this kind of flock of tentacles sprout out from his head and slicked back almost as if they were his head. And instead of a mouth and kind of conventional nose, you see this beak sticking out from his face, almost like a squid-like appearance of his face. These two round, dark, black eyes instead of what you would kind of normally associate with a humanoid creature staring out at the lot of you. As you come closer, he kind of bows as you all approach. Greetings, I am Azori Moonstone. It is the pleasure of my life to meet you all.
We bounce in midair.
And who might these lovely individuals be, Shadow?
I'll go round. So that's Reed,
Hi there.
Bogwater.
Yep.
He will be your best friend, whether you want him to be or not.
You immediately handshake is quivering.
Kind of like his whole hand grasps your tiny hand.
Reed's like, can I talk to the rhinosaur?
Of course, he is
Great.
Shadow's friend, though. You must ask him.
Yeah, of course.
It's your rhinosaur?
Yes, of course it's my rhinosaur.
Can I go say hi?
I did say that I had a ride.
Yeah, does it have a name?
Yeah, but I've not written it down yet.
Great. Hi! Immediately beelines for its face and just hugs its nose.
Kind of like this long snake-like tongue kind of like licks out, and you see as it kind of like, as you
Swallows
approach, it
people.
kind of like licks its lips as you approach its face.
Okay. Is it going to eat me?
Not if you stay away from its mouth. Azori, this is Quinn, Denari. Can sometimes look like other people. Best to just ask everyone you meet if they're Quinn Denari.
May I change into you, please? You're very beautiful looking.
Of course, I do not know what you mean by this, but
I turn into. If I can, I don't know if he's humanoid, but I'll try.
he does count as humanoid. That was a very literal meaning.
Yes, that was a very literal meaning.
Oh, that is quite
this is a weird form. I quite like it.
It's quite disconcerting.
I promise you, you won't get used to it. Speaking of, this is Appleby Oakwood,
No,
esteemed
no.
performer, juggler, man without a right foot.
Yeah.
General waste of rock and dirt.
Something to that effect.
Yeah,
That's quite
that-
sweet. Something like that.
I mean, I've had more exciting intros in my life, but I would say usually don't put the name as the first thing. You want to like build up to it, you know. So like,
I mean,
this is esteemed man of mystery, soily cunt, you know, and then go Appleby Oakwood, or you know, whichever one you want to refer to me as. Hello, I'm particularly interested in your beak.
He kind of like clacks it in front of you.
That's good, yeah.
What about it are you interested in?
Mostly just, what is it? What is you?
I am an Araki.
I don't know what that is.
Bless you.
I come from a place known as Arik.
What does Appleby know where Arik is? Where's Arik?
Give me a history check at disadvantage. Actually, no, sorry. You can have just a regular history check, actually.
Oh yeah. Ooh, not bad. 19.
You've never heard of a place called Arik, but you've certainly heard of a place called the Arik Embassy.
Oh yeah.
Which is a place in the very southern part of Ontrath. It's off to the kind of south of the Leviathan coast, on an island to the south.
It's down like.
Okay. Oh.
It's on
Oh yeah, the
the other
Iraqi
side.
embassy. I
So it's
see it.
basically
Oh,
just
it's
south.
It's right here.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It has an X, a silent X,
Of course.
of course.
Why not?
Yep.
That's illogical.
All from the
Got
south.
coroner. If you get hurt, speak to them.
Do you have any ailments afflicting you that I might be able to help with?
I've got a rash on my underside, if you would care to take a look.
Yes, I'll have a look at that if you'd like an examination.
That would be most kind.
Is that a thing around here? Have you had that all the time, or was that since you got here?
It is from riding the rhinoceros. It has been a long journey.
Oh, so
It has.
it's riding. Okay, well that's less exciting.
Yeah.
I've got an ointment. I can provide.
Surely Coroner is just fascinated what the underside of a squid-headed person looks like.
Oh, you know, they're gonna have a look.
Is there ink? Who knows?
Then we got Rodeo. She is not a sheriff. Her badge broke. I don't think she can be a sheriff anymore after that.
What is a sheriff?
Someone who
Has a badge.
A badass.
it is known. Someone who sets things right when they're wrong.
Wait, well, this guy's got a rash. So I give you the ointment. You wanna
I mean,
take a crack?
yeah. Sure,
It is
why not?
not near the crack. It is above it a bit.
Nice.
Okay, I do want to have a look. That's not where I expected saddle rash.
And then we've got Digby,
Hello.
Faisal,
Hello.
Aldous.
Hello.
A prisoner.
I know your name. You was there.
I'm Philon Alandir of
That
House
was
Land.
it. Francis Pylons. That was him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Aren't we all getting along swimmingly?
we are. We're on the way now to the Golden Tooth.
Boy, magnificent city, I hear.
Yeah, got to speak to a Dragon King about a dog. Or maybe a dragon.
You have a dog?
No, just the rhino. So,
We've had wonderful introductions from you, but who is this gentleman?
oh, my apologies. This is Azori.
No, sorry.
Hello, I am Azori.
I said to you like moments ago.
I am I'm an associate of Shadow's. I follow him where he goes. He saved my life. I am indebted to him for that. He took me from my crystal. I fell from the sky, landed in the plains of Savannus not a long time ago, but a few years ago, and Shadow saved me from dying of, what is the word?
Kind of guess blood force trauma.
Dehydration.
Sorry, rewind. You fell from a crystal.
I was entombed in a crystal that fell from the sky. It broke open and...
You can't just drop that on us.
No,
Is this
he
normal?
literally can. He dropped it and was in a crystal.
Are a lot of people entombed in crystals where you're from?
A solid at least one of them was at one point.
That's enough for me to be concerned.
Reed will pop up from behind the rhinoceros and be like, technically I was entombed in a crystal for a very long time.
Excuse
What?
me.
So did you like die?
Are you from... Yeah, Ayak.
No, I've never heard of it. I'm from a tree in the woods.
You
Nice and
sounds
specific.
like Arak.
No. I'd like to visit though.
It might be quite difficult unless you have a crystal that can travel the spaces above the planet.
Oh, Eldis has probably got one of those. Eldis, you got a crystal?
Yeah, well, a crystal?
Yeah, that
No,
can get us to Arrakis.
Yes.
I think that's the planet from Doom.
That
If you're
was Mars.
talking about Arak, then I personally never heard of it.
Oh. You're not all that fond of knowledge you claim to be.
This is gentleman and a place. This is all new to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we can hold Elvis accountable for what it is he does and does not know.
No, it was unnecessary.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's okay. But yeah, basically, Azori owes me a life debt. I cashed in on it straight away. He now follows me around, keeps me company. He will now follow us around, keeps company.
Look after the rhinoceros.
So you just left
Really?
the city.
Well, somebody had to look. I couldn't bring the rhinosaur in.
It was.
It's a bit big.
I've got attendance.
Shadow said it would be dangerous inside, and I am not a fighter.
No.
Alright.
First sign of trouble, man turns into crystal and falls from the sky.
That's quite true, but
No.
I don't like.
It would be funny though.
I wish I could turn to crystal at will.
So do we now have horses and a rhinosaur plus the cart?
No,
I don't
you
know.
all have horses in a cart. I have a rhinosaur.
I meant collectively because technically I guess it belongs to Faisal.
As this kind of like conversation takes place, you see as Faizel's actually starting to wander off. As you go, as you see to the right-hand side of the clearing, on almost the opposite side of the clearing to this strange individual that you've just been introduced to, and this rhinosaur, you see this kind of dark shadow in the corner of this kind of clearing as
I'm quick.
what appears to be the remains of Faizel's carriage
Oh, no.
left here. No horses seem to be attached to this carriage any longer, and the remainder of this carriage seems to have this black crust around it, as if it had been touched by fire.
Well, that's
Right.
convenient.
Azori, any
Yes,
idea what happened there?
I think he set it on fire.
your friend is quite right.
You set it on fire?
No, I did
Good
not.
shout, Appleby.
I did not set it on fire.
Incarcerate him.
I had a feeling about this guy.
While I was waiting
Still be-
here for your return, there was some individuals. They were wearing a brown robe and they had this color of blood armor underneath. And they came, they took the horses, and I thought this was nothing out of the ordinary, just taking the horses maybe for a ride. Then they came back, no horses, and they burnt the carriage.
Brown robes and red armour.
Red, yes, red. Yes, underneath the robes, yes.
Now, who do we know that fits that description? The guy from Rod Gods.
You're right. Incarcerate him.
Right, well, this place is a bit of a fucking issue, isn't it?
How long ago was this?
It was the first night I was here, I think. Yes, the first night I was here.
So that's
So
about
that
when
was-
we were bouncing Digby out.
Yeah.
Why does it?
So it's over 24 hours ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does it place an
Probably
issue?
a retaliation, or it would be
Because we don't have a
when they got
car
Faisal as well.
carriage.
That lines up time wise.
Do you reckon they just wanted to like keep us here so we didn't have an easy exit? We
Yeah.
tried to flee.
Probably, yes.
Kind of see now at this stage Faisal just kind of going inside and kind of you see him picking through what remains of it's fairly what was a fairly luxurious carriage, but now it's just kind of this burnt out husk as you begin to gather around that. Azori following you up kind of as you go to investigate this.
How big is the rhinosaur?
Rhinosaur is fairly large. It is about 4 meters in length and about 2.5 meters high.
Oh.
Very wide as well. Probably another 2 meters or so in kind of girth. As you see, this is a mount designed to carry a larger creature.
How many?
It's got to carry a Loxodon.
Oh, and it's got to carry you. It's got to
Yeah,
carry any
also.
others.
You got to carry a Loxodon and
It would.
a Zerathi.
It has carried me and Shadow here across from Tempest Point.
Could it carry you and Shadow and Rodeo as well?
I don't know if it could take much more weight and
Okay.
maintain its speed if we were perhaps to move at a slower rate.
Mechanically, what CR is a rhinosaur?
CR.
Yeah.
It is. I haven't come up with a CR for it.
Nice. Let me know later.
Okay.
I want to know,
Mechanically,
like-
is it a beast?
It is a beast. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've written that down.
It is definitely a beast. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Really be like, well, I have potentially a solution.
It's probably the same CR as a rhino, I'd say.
Amazing. That's
That'll be
not far away. That's
CR1,
like
I think.
CR1. Yeah.
Don't know.
But it would have
CR1.
it would have slightly different abilities, but I'd say roughly the same CR.
No, 2. I got away with it.
Yeah.
But wait for a while.
Do we want to just travel by foot, or do we want to?
I have means of transportation.
Yeah, I can
I
be
mean-
transportation.
It would probably not be an issue to carry you on the rhinosaur.
Well, I was going to be a horse.
Oh,
Nay.
you can turn into a horse?
Yeah, now
Is that like what he can do?
it's less crunchy and wet.
I can't turn into animals.
Reed has said this on a number of occasions. We are yet to actually see him become an animal. I don't know if it's just a bit.
Reed just goes, no, I can, I promise. Riding horse.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Tiny little leaf wings on the back.
What does the transformation look like? Because you're very small. So
yeah.
do you become very large and then
So,
turn into a horse?
yeah,
or are
you
you
ever
a
seen
tiny
a
horse
glitter one?
first? And then it gets large.
So yeah, you don't see a lot. So the already quite long and like thin limbs just like extend and stretch for a little bit, and you do see the face start to distort. And then yeah, it's essentially like a little glitter bomb. You sort of get like, and then there's.
Oh,
a
so you don't
horse.
see the full like.
You know when you get like
animal
those,
transformation?
you know
Oh,
when you get
thank
those
God.
tablets that turn into a flannel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what Reed
Yeah,
does.
but it's like
Yes.
those where it's only when you're not really looking that the horse appears.
Apple
If you sit there and watch it, it's just slowly
Peripheral.
stretching.
That is what happens whenever I use one of those flannels.
Yeah.
It's slow and awkward, and then you finally got the flannel, and it's really shit.
Yeah,
so
you want to
really
put it back
But
into
you
the
get a
tablet.
horse.
and it's just
Yeah.
annoying.
So yeah, it's
Cool,
kind of
flannel horse.
yeah, it's a
Glitter
bit
bomb, flannel horse.
yeah.
Nice.
How long would it?
Next hub world character.
Yeah, that's the episode
How long
name.
would it have taken to get up here roughly?
From Ria Priz?
Yeah.
Probably about 20 minutes or so.
I am now a horse, so I won't speak much.
Wonderful.
Right. Well,
We still have
okay.
a carriage.
It's not a bit. He can actually turn into animal. That was weird.
See it kind of as you take the attention of not only Azori at this point, but also Albus, Faisal, and Digby all kind of look towards you here. That is quite a feat, as Faisal says.
No, it's hooves.
Nah,
Good one.
I can't communicate as a horse. So.
No, you
Yeah.
have a horse's mouth.
Just
You have the same
Do
language
that.
stats though. So you can...
I can nod.
Yeah, you can nod. Yeah.
Nod along.
Give him peanut butter.
What?
Give him peanut butter. You'll lose that funny mouth thing.
Well,
What colour horse are you?
Green.
No, like that would be horrible. No, like a sort of
Shetland
you know
pony.
the film Spirit, that like sort of beigey sandy colour,
Oh, yeah.
with like a dark mane and a dark tail.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great movie.
kind of see as Digby
And
kind
a
of
cartoon horse.
shouts up at this point. Well, as good as that is, I'm afraid we still
horse
don't have
is
enough to carry all of us upon mounts.
I'm loath to ask, but Appleby, you said you had transportation.
Yeah, did you?
Would you mind elaborating?
Ooh. And Appleby rummages around in whatever sort of pocket there is on a jester's outfit.
I choose to believe it's his hat.
It's not his hat, trust me. And he goes through and takes out from one of his pockets a small. It's not quite clear if it's a stone or a seed. It's brown and about yay big. It looks like a peach stone, maybe. He'll take that and just go.
Right, okay.
Yeah, when we said elaborate, we're going to need a little more than that.
What is that?
It's a transportation unit.
How does it transport?
I haven't
Yeah,
actually
doing well
used it
today.
yet. I can't. And he'll just sort of crouch down and dig a little bit of dirt and just place the seed.
As soon as the seed
ground.
touches the dirt, you all see almost like a fast forward of like a time lapse of a flower blooming. You see as the seed erupts into what appears to be something in the same shape as a penny farthing bike, but completely comprised out of vines and sticks, just grow instantly out of this seed and kind of pop into being.
Right.
Of course.
You hear an enthusiastic whinny.
That was good.
Well, I don't necessarily get tired, so I can walk it, and I'll be fine.
Reed, may I ride you for the next hour or so?
Huge nod.
Is no one impressed with that?
Yeah,
Should we get the...
how long does this last for?
Impressed.
I hope this isn't permanent.
Does this last for?
An hour.
Yeah, you're
At level
druid
2.
level.
Half your druid level.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh. Tap once.
Yeah.
Count the 1 hour. I guess it's something.
We should probably get our...
We need to get as far away from the
Dragonborn.
town as our little legs can get us
that
now.
too. We should get the Dragonborns on some kind of mounts for this journey, I reckon.
Yeah.
They're the targets.
Yeah, and the bike is really cool, isn't it, everyone?
Yes.
Yeah, the bike's really cool.
It's,
mate.
it sure is something.
Yeah, a little bit of commotion for the bike, yeah?
I mean, it's 2 o'clock in the morning and we are trying.
around it.
Oh, yeah, look at
See,
that.
it's kind of these fireworks erupt out around the bike.
Like a tiny little fanfare. Ta-da.
Oh,
I'll be honest with you, the reason I've not been doing any fanfare is it's 2 in the morning and we're trying to be quiet. So I was doing very quick introductions and I wasn't that very loudly impressed about your bike. But if we're waking everyone up, yes, very fucking well done.
Shadow, can you keep it down a bit? We're trying to
Fuck
focus.
off.
Oh, hop on Reed.
You do is you kind of like mount up, riding Reed bareback. As you
Don't say it
do.
like that.
Well, how else am I supposed to say it?
Get some
There's no
rule
saddle.
34.
Bog water, not bareback.
You notice as you sit on the back of the horse that it like crunches like old dry leaves a little bit under like
coffee.
buttock.
Under butter.
Okay,
Love
so,
crunchy underbutt.
how are we transporting? Yeah, our transports, the Dragonborn.
I don't mind walking if one of them wants to
Yeah.
take my seat.
I'll do the same for now.
I advise you probably shouldn't ride anymore for Wales with your condition.
That's probably a good idea.
What a medical genius.
Kind of like as the kind of like rhinoceros there, kind of like you see it very close to the fire, seeming to get some kind of extra warmth and energy from this heat radiating out from the fire as kind of Faisal gestures to use.
Yeah, by all means, get
You
on.
mind?
Yeah,
Kind of mounts
Oh,
up and
give me a hand.
you see his Digby also kind of hops on as well, and then Aldous actually clambers on behind you onto the now horse form of Reed, being a much more diminutive fellow, can safely both ride.
You're going to have to see her, Aldous. I'm going to be busy.
Very, very well. Busy doing what?
I'll point up towards the moon.
Yes, the moon. Good. He kind of like shuffles around kind of into, so he's like in front of you, kind of like holding the reins now, as you do see the road extending out before you, heading, you you would, Coroner, you would know this road that you actually travelled down to reach Ria Priz from the Golden Tooth stretches out before you. This fairly well-travelled road, dead at the moment, being that it is 2 a.m. In the middle of the night. As you see, this kind of road stretch out of this forested area out before you. Is there anyone else who is mounting up? Anything else you'd like to do before you start getting on your way?
Just to the start of the travel, when we hit 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. witching hour, I'll scribe my 2 new spells.
Cool.
And if Reed is still a horse, I will just talk out loud about what I'm doing and like my workings and my explanations and that, because I know that they were interested in what happens during this time.
Okay.
So I'll just essentially just speak out loud while I'm scribing
Cool.
spells.
Well, would you expend another charge to extend your horsedom once it runs out?
Will you stay on the
Reed
horse for
is
2
loving
hours?
it, so absolutely.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you can stay horse for 2 hours, which would cross over the period of witching hour.
So yeah, as you're like narrating what you're doing, you notice that Reed keeps turning their head to listen, and then like you just sort of veer off road, like go pretty close to a tree. Al just like yanks the reins.
As the two kind of riding on the rhinosaur, this thing stays pretty true. It seems to have somewhat of a fascination with you, Shadow, as you kind of almost leading it around as it kind of follows quite nicely in behind you. How would the rest of you be travelling? Where would you be? In what kind of order would you like to walk down this road in?
I will take the front,
Okay.
and I'll have a pretty decent stride on as I don't really get tired, so like just so I keep pace with.
Do we have a
Everyone else.
source of light with us?
We can do.
Because, as we've established, not many of us have dark vision.
No, indeed.
Is it just us two?
How's
Just
the
us two.
moon?
I guess
Oh, that's such a good point.
if there's a bit of moonlight, we should be okay for now.
We're
We
the
should
one
be able to like
asking that
listen out and
question.
stuff.
The moon is actually almost an exact half at the moment.
Nice.
Nice.
So
Is
it's
it waxing or waning?
It is whichever one is getting bigger.
Waxing.
Waxing.
It's waxing. It's not providing the most light that you've ever seen, especially because this area is actually kind of crowded in with a few trees as well.
Once we're out of like Ria Priz, I'll give us some light, and I'll need it
Yeah.
for writing anyway, so I'll just cast light on my tiara, just give us a little radius.
Cool. So yeah, after about 20 minutes or so passes down this road, it's fairly easy to navigate at the moment. But as we get navigating, we're going to go into some of my travel rules. So, out of the party, would any of you like to take any of the group travelling roles? There are as follows: a navigator who will be using survival checks to try and lead the group in the right direction.
Yep.
There is a lookout who will be using perception, check for any active threats to the group, and there is an overseer whose job is to look after the group and keep morale up using any kind of charisma-based ability.
Oh, can I do the morale?
You want to be an overseer
Yeah.
for this journey? Go for it.
I'll be lookout.
I was
Okay.
going to volunteer to do the survival check. Yeah, if that's
Cool. You want to navigate?
Can you as a horse?
Can I as a
Your mental stats do say the same.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I'd say
cool,
you
yeah.
could navigate as a horse.
Nice.
So, Reed, give me a survival check.
Will do. That is a 22.
Nice. Cool.
Very good.
Coroner, give me a perception check.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
That is a 25.
Nice. And finally, Appleby, what skill would you use to oversee the group?
It's going to be a big time performance.
It's going to be a big time performance check?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Hit me with it.
Oh god.
It's a big old performance on the
From Wild
penny
the Penny
farthing.
Farthing, yeah.
Yeah. Just riding the penny farthing.
farthing.
Yeah.
Okay.
No hands, just.
Just give me a straight athletics check. See how well you
other
can ride
group of
no-handed.
travelers come across us in
They're
the
just gonna
night,
turn
they're
around
gonna
and
fucking freak.
Do you say athletic?
Athletics, see how well you can ride no-handed.
12.
12. You stay afloat. It's a bit janky and you kind of like wobbling a bit, but you've ridden this bike a couple of times and you know what's up.
It doesn't so much keep morale up, but we're all just so fascinated
We're
that we're not
fascinated.
noticing that we're tired. It's
Yeah.
like, look at this.
And then, natural 20.
Yes!
It is keeping our morale up.
Cool. Sweet.
This is the best I've ever felt.
These are all the rolls that we needed last week when we were fighting the fucking crab monster.
So,
No, this is short.
Now we're using it on bike riding.
before we move on to these checks, would anyone else be doing anything else in this first period of travel time? This will be the rolls for the first day of travel.
Can I, because I'm lookout,
Yes.
would I still be able to do stuff?
Depends what it was. You'd be able to do a light activity, but
Cool.
nothing too strenuous.
Just as well as looking out for dangers, I'd be keeping an eye out on any herbs or shrubs I spot on the roadside that would be useful for potion brewing.
Cool. Give me a second perception check at this as you're kind of like, this is a secondary focus for you.
Still pretty hot. That's 21.
21. Nice. You do find a couple of little herbs. You do actually find a small crop of a herb known as rot flower. As you kind of like pick this up on the side of the road, and you know this is a kind of key ingredient in a lot of poisons.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, anyone else?
I don't think it's necessarily something I'd need to do a check for, but Rodeo is striding along, probably slightly back in the group, because she's one of the few people that does have dark vision. So she's kind of keeping an eye on, like, behind us.
Yeah.
And walking in front of her will be the prisoner.
Okay, yeah.
Probably, yeah, he's still got, like, the manacles on.
Yeah.
She's probably loosened the chain on the feet slightly, just that he can
Yeah, kind of full
walk at a
stride.
normal pace, because
Okay.
otherwise we will be here forever.
Yeah.
And she's not fucking carrying him. But he can't, like, he wouldn't be able to, like, make a run for it without tripping himself up, basically.
Cool.
And he is in front of her because she doesn't want to let him out of her sight.
Cool. Nice.
And if he tries to complain or whatever, she'll just kind of, like, nudge him along.
Prod him in the back of the gun or something.
She won't like. I don't think she's openly threatening him.
Okay.
But she, like, if he starts whinging, she'll just be like, "Come on, keep going. Otherwise, we'll leave you.
Nice.
I'll tie you to a tree and just leave you behind."
Nice.
So yeah, she's behind him as an incentive for him to keep going.
Keeping an
basically.
eye.
Yeah, keeping an eye on him.
Nice.
And I'll catch Azori up on just everything I know about all of these people now. We'll explain that Digby and Faisal are dragons. Rodeo is not a dragon.
Unfortunately,
Try and make sense of that, if
she's
you
still
will.
pissed about that.
Not that she's not a dragon.
Why,
She's pissed that they are.
why can they not fly to this tooth?
Oh, they got weird necklaces on that stop them doing it.
All right. I thought that was a fashion statement.
No, well, it could also be, but it seems detrimental to their draconic abilities.
You see at this point, kind of as you're walking, kind of chatting to him, at the same time he's kind of talking to you as well, you see this kind of like chunk of rock in his hand that he's sort of carving down with this hand chisel he has, but also using his beak quite a lot to kind of like chisel down this rock into some kind of form, as you've seen him do many times.
Nice.
What kind of form?
It's unclear at the moment, but you see it's kind of like this roughly kind of, this size of kind of piece of rock, as he's, just carving away at it with his, kind of little hand chisel and his beak.
That's par for the course with the Zori, though, isn't it?
You've seen him do this many times, and collected many a rock for him as well.
Yes. Anyone sees a big shiny rock, give it to
Quinn,
him.
you're doing your spells at this
yes.
time. Anything else you do kind of after that as well?
Not until we camp for the night, I don't think.
As you kind of do your spells during the switching hour as well, you do notice Aldous takes quite a deep interest in this as well, as he kind of like watches you kind of take this ritual, and as he notices you jot down a few extra spells as well, he kind of, would you mind if I copied those down as you're done?
Yes, of course. What do you need?
Well, as I've told you a few times, my spellbook is gone,
Oh,
so
yes.
any spells I can learn on the road may make me a bit more useful to the lot of you.
Sure, I'll just hand in my spell book and let him peruse through my spells.
Cool.
Do you want me to let you know so you can prepare
Yeah,
those,
could you
or-
just quickly send me a message of what were the two new spells that you
I'll
did?
screenshot my spells.
Brilliant, thanks. So, as we go back to the group travelling checks, the navigation roll goes flawlessly. Reed, despite being unfamiliar with this area, it's pretty simple going. You just kind of travelling straight along this road, you see a few signs along the way. Despite this kind of darkness that's pervading the area, you use your dark kind of sense to find a very good route through this road. You seem to kind of travel unperturbed so far. As far as Coroner, you're looking out for any threats to the group, and from what you can see for now, seems all right. And Appleby, with your natural 20, you do this beautiful performance. It's somewhat somber, but also at the same time uplifting as you're traveling through.
Is what I'd call it.
It is fascinating as you travel through the darkness of the Golden Kingdom. Each of you are able to add 1d4 to an ability check of your choosing on this day, as this is inspiring performance from Appleby as you're travelling along.
Free guidance.
So 1d4 to what, sorry?
1d4 to any ability check you make on this coming day.
With this stack with guidance.
This would stack with guidance. This is a completely separate individual thing. And would someone in the group please roll me a d20?
Who wants the first one?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Or is this
You
like
got
the
a
luck
track
check?
record?
This is going to be a random encounter check.
Go on, Hal.
Give us something good.
3!
Yeah.
As you travel for about... How long would you guys go before you stop, actually?
Probably till
2
next
hours,
evening.
the horse stops being
2 hours? Yeah, you do see as the kind of reed begins to kind of like buck a bit underneath you,
And then
Quinn.
tracks back down into
And as
flannel
you
form.
kind of take this as a sign to dismount, as you and Aldous dismount, and Quinn, you shrink back down.
Yeah, like you said, do we want to go like from
Just-
2 a.m. up to like 9, or I guess like 8 in the evening, so we can set up camp. Like, just
Maybe
like
slightly
4,
earlier,
5.
just like go like 4 or 5ish, and then have a couple of hours downtime
That's
before we
it.
sleep.
Yeah, we've had a full night's sleep
That's a good
basically
one.
already, so I think we should
13
go
hours of
on
travel,
for,
yeah.
for as long
Yeah.
as we can, really.
Cool, brilliant. Well, you make it half a hex, which is about 30 miles in this first day,
Oh, boy.
completely undeterred, and you are unaccosted by any individuals on this road as you pass not only through the night as you leave the town of Ria Priz, but as you kind of get into the daytime of the next day, you just keep travelling down this road. You see a few other travellers coming along the other way, mostly people kind of riding quite quickly on horses or just carriages filled with what you assume to be kind of trade goods and loot and things like that, travelling along the other direction back towards Ria Priz. A few of them travelling in the same direction, overtaking you, especially these quicker riders. Cool. And as you get to the end of the first day, we're going to try I assume you're going to try for your first long rest out in the wild.
Yeah. Camping down.
Brilliant. So are you going to camp down, or would you attempt to do a quick pitch?
Camp down's the one where it wastes a whole day, isn't it?
Yeah, so for anyone watching, I've got a little bit of a unique take on travelling resting to make things a little bit more interesting. So the group can either choose to camp down, which will cost them an extra day, but they'll definitely get a long rest off, or they can attempt a quick pitch, which will depend on the group's survival rolls to see how successful a rest they can find out on the road.
We're all rested. I'd say quick pitch.
Yeah, let's quick
Give it a
pitch
go.
it.
Quick pitch. All right. Okay. Well, if you could each give me a survival check, and I will be doing the
And we can pass that
NPCs.
D4.
Add that
so we
D4.
go-
You can add that D4 as well in the NPCs.
Do I have to
Can you
before
do
I roll?
that? Yeah, 4 after.
I'd say you can do it after if you like.
I'll do it at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh
Faisal got a nat 20.
Yeah.
Nice.
Has it got to be survival, yeah?
Survival, please. Yeah.
Tell me, El, would this D4 cancel out a nat fail?
It wouldn't cancel out a nat fail.
Never mind then. I will not use it.
Well, luckily for you, Aldous also got a nat 20.
Hey.
Oh my goodness.
And
These Boy
Azori.
Scouts love camping.
Cool. So yeah, Faisal got a nat 20. Digby got an 11. Aldous also got a nat 20, and Azori got a 14. Reed.
Nice.
15.
15. Cool. Quinn.
13.
13.
Nice.
Lovely. Appleby. 10.
24.
24. Nice.
Crit fail.
Crit fail. Yep.
13.
13. Cool. So the crit fail and one of the nat 20s will just cancel each other out for that. And then, according to my table here,
According to my charts.
the most results landed in the 19 to 14 range, which is a better than nothing rest. So as you kind of stop by the roadside, it's not the most perfect rest you ever had. You're in quite a rush to get away from the town of Ria Priz, being that you were assaulted there quite heavily, and with the stress of kind of traveling and everything else that's been going on, you just managed to find a few hours rest, but you do think it would have been better to have a bit longer. So you all will gain the benefits of a short rest, and any of you who might want to do this, you can gain your proficiency bonus in hit dice or spell slots back. Could you all give me a Constitution saving throw to see how restful this rest truly is for you all?
I get my watch back there.
Oh, do you? On a short rest? Yep. Nice.
What were we rolling, sorry? Con
Con save, please.
10.
No, cool.
12.
21.
21, nice.
17.
Nice.
17.
Nice.
12.
12. Ooh, I should do these guys as well. That's a great set of rolls from them, and a decent set from Missouri. So anyone that got below a 15, you actually suffer a point of exhaustion here, as this rest wasn't as restful as it could have been for Jarl, as you do suffer from not getting a full night of rest. All of the companions you seem to be travelling with, though, seem to have managed to get a decent enough night's sleep.
Dishonorability.
It'll be dishonorability checks.
So hopefully before that goes off, but during the rest, I would cast one of my new spells a couple of times.
Okay.
I would set out a ritual circle and first of all cast Identify on the transposition crystal that I have.
Okay.
Identify for real.
As you do this, you channel your magic into it. Alda's very closely watching you as you perform this ritual. Actually, Faisal also watching pretty closely as you do this. You get this sense that this is a crystal that, with an action, someone can, if they are willing, touch this and transport to the area or the teleportation circle that this crystal is linked to. It can also be used in a reverse fashion. If you are on the teleportation circle that it is linked to, you can also expend your action. You don't need to use any magical ability or anything like this to come out of the other side of the transposition crystal.
So
Oh, good. So they can just.
I relay this to the group.
I'm really glad we're keeping Date in a bag where they'll suffocate.
They'll suffocate.
Isn't it a bag of holding?
I don't own a bag of holding.
Oh,
None of us have one of those yet.
I didn't say that.
I'll just appear and rip the bag open.
Yeah.
Be quite funny
That would be quite funny.
though, wouldn't it, Joe?
Could leave it in the woods. Could carry it with us until the tooth, but
I think carry it with us. Because any member of the gallants that pops through on their ones, just.
I think the potential rewards of keeping them with us outweigh the possible negatives.
And then Faisal and Digby, if you'd like to step forward into my circle, please. I'll identify the colours as I promised them.
Cool, yeah. As you do so, and you cast this second spell, as again infusing your magic kind of as it flows out into this collar around Faisal's neck, you get the you've already investigated this collar pretty intently, but you get the feeling that this collar, not only from what you investigated before, stops someone from transforming into their true self, but it actually prevents them from doing any magic of any kind, and it also prevents them from healing in any magical way. As you sense this collar has some kind of necrotic magic built into it as well, this Tellurian fetter, otherwise known as a shape tether.
Tellurian fetter.
Tellurian fetter
That's
is
such a sick name.
It's cool, isn't it?
the old style name for it in old Draconic. You get this impression that not only does this suppress transformation abilities, but this suppresses all magic from an individual this is classed upon.
I think I'll just do this out loud.
Nasty little bit of kit.
Tom.
I'm getting takeaway the
Put some of the takeaway in the glass.
Is there anything else anyone would like to do in this long rest?
That's it for me.
All good.
I'll offer Squid Boy a full examination if you'd like one. take a look at that rash.
Cool. Give me a medicine check. You got it. Give me advantage. You can have advantage on that. This is your specialty.
So even if this is a long rest, I have a shit long rest, so I still have a point of it.
It's a shit long rest. Yes.
Alright, okay, cool.
That's a 24.
24.
I know a rash.
You see that this is
You
definitely
know a rash when you see one.
It's
You've never
definitely
had one in your life.
a riding rash. You see that this has definitely come from sat up atop this rhinosaur. There doesn't appear to be any kind of saddle or anything kind of on this beast of burden. As you can definitely see as this kind of like reddish hue is kind of pervading this otherwise quite nice, crisp kind of sea blue of Azori's skin.
There. Where is it? Sorry, on my...
It's like starting to go down onto his butt cheeks, but it's also sort of also on like kind of reaching up into his back.
Okay, cool. So I'll
How
put
is
my
he
hand.
sitting on this thing?
It's kind of like lying, like
Oh, I see. He's got a slouch.
Yeah.
I'll put my hand in that general area. And I'll pop a cure wounds on him.
Cool. Yeah. Just give me one more medicine check at advantage. See how well you can kind of like using your skill cure up this rash.
Thank God, it's advantage. 17 plus 6, so
23.
You kind of like pop this like cure wounds into it, and you see as a few of the kind of blisters begin to close, as you see these kind of spectral needles begin to like sew together some of the like skin that has been broken by this kind of ride that he has done across the continent. As you see this rash begin to fade away.
Right. Right, so keep off that for a few days. If it persists, then I'll get a few leeches on you. But until then, should heal with time.
Well, thank you very much. I'm most grateful for your assistance there. It has been a long while since I have been seen by a physician of your caliber.
No worries, not my pleasure. That'd be 1,200 gold.
Shadow, do you have some money?
You don't have to pay him.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Well, thank you.
How private are your medical examinations? Like, do you like go away and don't know the rest of it?
Up to the patient.
You just drop trout.
Okay, so as it's like on his front being examined, Reed would just like appear next to his head.
Hello,
And be like, "Hi there. I did notice on the trip, but I couldn't talk about it because I was a horse. Don't know if you noticed that was me.
I did see your horse for a little while.
Yeah, I saw you were like chiseling.
Yes.
I like doing that, but with wood.
I don't know.
What are you making?
I'm crafting a small statue of this dinosaur.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I made something for you. A horse?
Oh, sorry, Jay.
I made a horse for Shadow.
Is it a cow?
Oh, it's a cow. Yeah, I made a cow
Yeah.
out of wood for Shadow.
You made a cow?
Out of wood,
What
yeah.
is a cow?
Oh, like a rhinosaur,
Sorry.
if it was fatter and produced milk.
That must be some beast if it is bigger than a rhinosaur.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, it's like a different shape. It's not bigger. I don't know. I've never seen a cow.
May you excuse me while we continue this medical examination?
Yeah. Finish your diagnosis.
Thank you.
But I just wanted to if you want to be chisel buddies, that'd be fun.
Oh, I'd certainly like to look at your work.
Great. What's your favourite animal?
I'm very fond of the Greknak.
Okay. Like an animal that I know.
Oh, well,
Do you like horses?
from this, there are a few horses that I've become very good friends with.
Right.
My
Well,
house loves
hopefully
horses.
I can be the next horse you're friends with.
No.
Well, I hope so too.
By the looks of this rash, I would not recommend that.
I'm actually quite a comfortable ride. Anyway, I'll make your horse. See you later.
Rodeo, as this rest kind of goes
Tension
between my
on
hinge
as
capture.
well,
Quite a comfortable ride.
you see as Faisal catches your eye kind of at one point during this rest and kind of gestures for you to come over to where he's kind of sat on the one side of this kind of makeshift camp that you guys have set up for the night. Rodeo, there's something I wanted to talk to you about. I know that there was some bad blood between the two of us after my concealment of my true nature, the lies I told.
Yeah, I don't like being lied to, but at the same time, I do understand the reason why you lied.
I appreciate
I ain't
that.
one to hold a grudge. Actually, no, that's a lie. I am one to hold a grudge, but only when it's worth it.
Well, it's part of the reason why I brought you on this expedition was for your
Grudge holding abilities.
yes, your grudge holding and your ability to see these grudges through. But perhaps there is something I can offer you to maybe help repair our relationship, maybe build a slight bit of trust. You maybe keep this to yourself, one Dracon to another.
Is this being spoken in Draconic?
Yes, this will actually be spoken in Draconic.
Yeah, I'm understanding it.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah, but are you listening?
Always.
Yeah, usually. Too busy looking at that guy's ass right now.
Yeah, give me a perception check if
busy.
this is your ass looking.
Standard coroner. This. It's still a 14.
14, it's just kind of out of earshot. You can definitely hear there's a conversation going, but you can't quite make out the kind of content of it as you're very focused on this pretty good medical examination you're doing.
Yeah, the medical examination is the good bit.
Yeah. When we get back to the tooth and this damned collar is removed, I have something I'd like to offer you. Something I've not offered to a creature in quite some time, but if you'd like to, you could ride me. No, not like that.
Listen.
No, I mean,
Listen, I'm flattered, but you are not my type.
no, I mean, if I become a dragon, you can come onto my back. No,
Give it a second, take a deep breath.
Okay.
Try
yes.
again. Try again.
When in my draconic form, I have quite a large cock body. And if you wished it, I would permit you to come aboard and we could go on a jaunt, if that would be something that you would like.
Yeah, sure. You could take me on a sightseeing trip.
I would like to.
Took us maybe 3 days in game to get real horny fast.
You know what? Yeah, I appreciate that. Water under the bridge with the whole you're a dragon, probably centuries old kind of thing. Don't worry about it, ain't no thing. Shit happens. I do still have a couple of conditions from our original agreement that I would like to see fulfilled when we return to the Tooth. If you recall, one of my conditions for coming with you on this journey after you graciously released me from my shackles was to do a little bit of investigating on my behalf about certain valuables of mine that have gone astray.
Of course.
And when we get back to your hometown, I would very much appreciate if you could, ask around a little. I am very keen to proceed with that investigation.
My intent when we return, once these fetters are released from us, is to send Digby to investigate this for you. He is my eyes and ears, shall we say. Hopefully this one will go a bit better than the last time I sent him off, though.
Yeah, well, maybe he's learned his lesson about what he gets up to when he's on his own.
I would hope so.
Throwing shade at poor.
Gingham deserves a holiday. Fuck this.
Well, I hope this is a slightly less dangerous job than the previous one.
I presume so. No gallants after you?
Not that
Not any
more
before.
Not that we aren't already aware of. But yeah, I appreciate that. I thought I would touch base with you about that, just in case you forgotten. But it seems that our original agreement is still in place.
Yes.
And as long as you keep up that end of the bargain, I think we're even. Don't worry about it. I do have one question though.
Anything.
Fazel. Is that your real name?
It's a shortened form of my name, but yes, it's real.
Alright.
Would you like to know the full name?
Fazilius.
Would you like to give it to me?
Phyzelosaurus.
Does that mean
Personal.
anything in Draconic? Like, obviously
Personal.
names have meanings in different languages. Would it mean something specific? Does it
Um,
give off a certain vibe that radio would recognize?
in terms of the etymology, you think that it kind of has a basis somewhere in kind of a being of charm and someone who would go about their kind of business in a manner not aggressively, but kind of you kind of get the gist from this name in kind of old, certainly old Draconic, that this would certainly imply that this was a person who was blessed by some kind of preternatural charm or kind of the ability, a silver tongue, shall we say.
All right, that's a good name. I think it suits you.
Thank you.
Maybe if we become better friends, I'll tell you mine. And she winks with her one good eye and gets up and she leaves and she goes back to the main campfire.
Kind of, yeah, seeing this, kind of like, he stays there, kind of like warming his hands before the small fire that he's built, and kind of, yeah, see as he watches, you kind of notice at the corner of your eye as you get up and leave, as he watches you kind of go out into the darkness of the night. Is there anything else anyone would like to do kind of over the course of this rest?
Don't think so.
Good.
I think we're yeah.
Roll again.
I touched the butt, I'm good.
Touch the butt, you're good. Okay, as this rest goes off, we will move into the second day of travel. You have moved actually through the first hex out of Ria Priz. You are now 3 hexes away from the Golden Tooth, which would be 6 days of travel. So as we get into the second day of travel, we're going to maintain the same group rolls. Okay.
Unless we take a short break there, just I'm a bit.
I was about to do that right after the rolls.
Amazing.
Yeah, so if we get the 3 rolls and then we'll go into a little bit of a break there.
Nice.
So yes, can we get the Overseer, the Navigator, and the other one that I've done?
Lookout.
Lookout, that's the one.
The Overseer instead?
What was it?
Any
What was it?
survival.
Overseer is any charisma ability.
You go
Lookout.
for it for today because I'm exhausted, so I've got
you and I
mine.
are fucking pooped.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
very
see as kind of
stinky.
rest goes off, as Rodeo and Quinn, you look and feel worse for wear.
Probably because I was up chatting to Fizzy all
Yeah,
day.
he kept you up and then just like passed out.
Yeah, he fell asleep like a baby, and I'm like,
Anyway, my full name is Fasilius Faisala.
Basilius Faizak, so, Reed, what'd you get for your navigating?
Non-natural 20.
Non-natty 20, nice.
definitely better than Rodeo can do on this
Look
game.
out.
That's a 19,
19,
please.
still very bloody good.
20, 19, 18.
18,
Wow.
okay. And one little D20 check
D6.
for the random encounter of the day.
17.
17, okay. Coroner, as we kind of like, as you progress through this day and don't seem to pick up on any threats, that is where we'll call a short little break. We will be back with some more Ellseworld very, very shortly. But yeah, in the meantime, don't go anywhere. Have a short rest, but stay there. I'll know if you leave. See you soon.
Don't leave, Ewan.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Ellseworld.
Like we were never away.
It was like we were. I hope you enjoyed your short rest, and we are going to continue right back up where we picked off after our second day of travelling through the Golden Kingdom down a relatively safe road between. Between the relatively safe road of Ria Priz and the Golden Tooth. Our companions have just
mum.
Our companions have just succeeded on their. Oh, your library has disintegrated, guys.
Oh, sorry.
I know.
The adventurers have just succeeded on their second
Not again.
safe day of travel with an excellent navigation check from Reed, a pretty good perception check from Coroner, and a decent overseeing check from Appleby. Y'all can add 1 to your checks, an ability check of your choosing for this day, as Applebee's music once again, not quite to the same level that it did before, once again feels like it's definitely improving your mood as you are travelling down along this road.
Just quickly while we were journaling, can I have like more roots and plants and things?
Yes, give me another perception check at this as you're overseen as well.
Never mind. 2.
2.
Plus whatever. Yeah. 8.
As you're moving along, don't see anything kind of along this stretch of the road. Too busy kind of peering at some of the passing travellers by and things like that as they speed on past. But nothing really takes your fancy like
See a nice
they did
dandelion.
the other day. Yeah, you do. Do you blow it?
No.
Like observe it.
I don't have breath, L.
You can like puff out a bit of steam.
Oh,
or,
yeah,
like,
okay.
anything
I'm
like
just
that.
getting wet.
Just soggy
Just gently
dandelion.
mist the dandelion as you walk past.
You've tried it before and you know it doesn't work, so you leave it be.
Greatest hardship of being a warlord.
At the end of this day as well. Sorry, what's that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mechanically, is
Yes.
there any advantage to Reed being a horse for this?
Because the majority of your party is still having to walk. No,
Not really.
Okay. In that case, every morning Reed will let you pick the mount you like for the day.
Oh shit.
Reed. Big
Chicken.
Reed.
Yeah, big
Give me,
It has to be like a beast.
give me your favorite animal from where you're from. That I could ride feasibly.
Okay.
I can get smaller or bigger if need be.
Oh yeah, you can change.
Well, yeah,
There's too many. There's so many animals. You pick one.
That right?
Okay.
This one.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you say that and Reed's like, okay, stay there. Disappears behind a tree and you just see like a little like of leaves and then scuttling out comes a giant centipede.
Oh my god!
No.
Oh, there used to be loads of these running around the castle. Oh, kind of like stroke your large insect-like form.
This is about the
Sort of, like,
size of one of those
shapely.
little trains that would go like around like a mall or something.
Yeah,
and Reed
I'll-
comes around from the side of this train.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it?
I'm just gonna like perch on top and like put my knees up and just like.
It's very slow. It goes about the same pace as Aldous would walking. As you kind of perch atop this this makeshift train.
There's a lot of fucking legs to move.
It's a lot of legs to
Sincerely
move.
hope that nobody like comes across us.
Can more people get on?
Yeah, I'd say with that form, a decent few of you could get on, but it is definitely not a quick way to travel.
All aboard the party train.
And if we go past any other people, I'll just be like,
Morning! You see like one guy, just he's kind of like this leather outfit, seems to be like equipped for riding, just kind of like as he's going past, just kind of like can't help but stare for a bit too long. He kind of like has to veer back onto the road as he.
I'm surprised
As he
his
veers-
horse wasn't like that.
As he veers back onto the road, Appleby fucking dings his bell really loud. Watch where you're going, you jerk off. Oh no, wait, that was Irish. That was fucking
One of us.
Yeah, one of you
That was
guys.
Zane Moose.
Guys, does that centipede just wave at me?
All the one you all get tipped off as
There's
all
legs
of the legs
on one side.
head off. And as we get into the kind of evening time, I assume you're resting down early again, as you would have had the same kind of travel schedule.
how far out are we from the Golden Tooth at this point?
You are,
Oh my
So
God.
I think 5 days.
I think, 5 days away now. Yeah, you've done your first 2 days of travel. It's 7 days to get to the Golden Tooth.
Risk another quick pitch, but we're pretty poop.
I'm fucking cunting, mate. Like, can I have a proper night's sleep?
Ding, ding, ding. Second cunt of the session, everyone.
Yeah.
And it's your tallies.
What I will say as well, if you pass the con save for a quick pitch, it will remove every point of exhaustion you have. It won't just like prevent you from gaining another one. Just
Yeah,
to
but
say
if I
in
fail
case
that, I get
Do
another.
we have, with a point of exhaustion, do we have disadvantage on this con save?
You would notice it's a saving throw.
not ability check,
Yeah, not
okay.
an ability check. Well, actually, it does exhaustion.
It's just disadvantage on all of it.
Yeah,
Checks
yeah,
first level.
yeah. I thought it was. That's good. That's the way I balanced it. But yes, no. It'd just be the saving throw, so you'd be not
So it would
missed
be
on that.
okay.
And you could add your +1. I should say that Overseer Inspiration can be used on a saving throw as well. I did say ability check, but it can also be used on a saving throw. Sorry, I should have said that. So and for today you have a +1.
You can do whatever you like.
I'm mostly feeling okay, so I think it's on the exhausted members of the party to make a choice.
My vote is for a proper night's rest.
Alright.
Yeah, let's go for a proper
If we
sleep.
alternate,
Are we?
Yeah, we could always alternate.
Yeah, are we on like a time crunch?
Well, we are trying to get away from.
well, I don't think we've noticed anything so far coming in our direction.
We haven't.
So I don't think anybody is chasing us necessarily.
If we clamp down, we can always spend a little bit more effort into concealing our position.
Yeah, and keeping
Yeah,
watch.
that's a good point.
Cool. Camping now for the night?
Yeah, let's keep going.
Cool. You get a confirmed long rest with this type of camping as you take a bit of extra time to really find a good place to camp. As you kind of go off the road here a little bit further than you did on the first night of travel, you explore the woods for about 20 minutes or so, and using Reed's navigation check from the day, you manage to find a clearing pretty easily enough, quite far off the road, and enough that you kind of all determined that you wouldn't be able to see this kind of campfire or any part of the camp, or hear much of the kind of noise that you'd make just from being camped down from this kind of roadside, thinking this would be a bit of a safer place to camp down. It does take you a bit longer to do this, as you kind of also take a bit of extra time, as you say, kind of concealing your camp a little bit and pitching kind of the full kind of like extent of any camping equipment or anything like that you have, as kind of fires begin to get lit. Azori certainly manages to quite easily spark off of the rock he is carving a spark to light a campfire up, as he does so, kind of settling down the rhinosaur with that. As you go into your first camp down, this will add another day to your travel time, as you really take your time to get a good rest here. The exhausted members of the party, you obviously lose your points of exhaustion, and yeah, you will gain the benefits of a full long rest. Goes off. Is there anything anyone would like to do over the course of this rest?
Yeah, most people notice just over the course of the evening, Coroner is just a little bit more jittery, and is sort of offering everyone like medical services, just like, do you need anything, like any more stuff like that, and like seems a bit on edge, but nothing else.
You're right, mate.
Fine, just a bit restless. How are you feeling? Are you well?
I'm feeling a lot better now that I know I'm going to get a proper night's sleep.
Fair enough. Well, I can definitely know I can help out. I'm willing to do a bit of work, you know.
Do you, like, are you used to not working?
No, just some days I'm used to working more than others. And this is one of those nights, so I'm a bit out of sorts.
I mean, I can throw a knife at Reed if you want.
A game?
Yeah.
Illogical, but thank you for the offer.
Oh, sorry, Reed. Game's off.
Oh. Alright, well, if you want to play a game, it's fine.
Yeah, no worries.
Cool.
At this point, kind of in the rest as well, you Shadow see as Faisal comes up to you, kind of just as you're taking maybe a moment alone. He's not intentionally trying to keep this private or anything, but he does kind of come up to you when you're kind of not with anyone else. Might I have a word with you?
Yeah, of course.
It's about, and he kind of looks quite pointedly over towards Azori. It's about your companion there.
Yeah.
Yes. Claims he is from Iraq.
Yeah.
Yes, well, do you know of the Iraq embassy?
Hypothetically, if I did not, would you be able to inform me?
Yes, well,
Excellent.
about 50 years ago or so, a great crystal fell from the sky.
Yeah, I know. And then I found him in a desert, and now we're friends.
No.
Oh no, that was not that long ago.
Different crystal. This one was city-sized.
Oh, big crystal.
We feared it would cause much destruction upon its landing, so the Magisters of the Tooth and of the Leviathan Coast and of Nargoli banded together and used our expertise to slow its descent. And it landed safely on one of the islands to the south of the main continent. And slowly over time, people, denizens of this planet, Arak, seem to have appeared. Well, not seem to have appeared, they have appeared. And they now populate the island. We've made some friendly contact with them. It's now known as the Iraqi Embassy. And they are amicable at the moment, but they seem private, closed off, shall we say.
Yeah? Is that a problem?
It's not a problem per se, but it's difficult and delicate for us to have a neighbour that we know so little about right on our doorstep, shall we say.
Yeah. Know a thing or two about that. I mean, do you want me to have a word? See, like,
does he know of that there are other people of his nature on this place?
I'll be honest with you, mate. I've never really cared enough to ask. And he said he was from somewhere I didn't know. He said it was far away, and I went, yeah. Oh, thank you for following.
Kenshi Mikage.
Thank you
Kenshi
very much.
Thank you very much for following
Hello,
me.
welcome.
Ignore the nifty logo.
Yeah, one day it will change. But yeah, no, he said he was from a place far away. They, it. Fuck are his pronouns?
I am a he.
Thank you.
He's just listening. He sat like 3 feet away.
It's
I'm once
alright.
again looking at his ass. It's like follow up exactly.
I'll wave over at Azor and just flag him to wander over.
Like pulls up his trousers, walks
Yeah,
over.
please do. Yeah,
We'll catch up again tomorrow.
taken a while to ask. So you said you were from Iraq.
Yes, that is correct. A planet far away from here.
Excellent. It's Faisal that I'm talking to, yeah? Faisal?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Faisal says that there's an embassy not far from here, the Iraqi embassy. Is that something you're familiar with?
I did not know there was any more of my kind here on Ellseworld. This is great news.
Yeah.
You see, it's kind of like you see as this doesn't smile, being that he has a beak, but you do see in his eyes, you do see kind of some sparks of happiness definitely appear there. And Faisal kind of looks towards, yes, your people have been here for almost 50 years now. It's
I was going to say, actually, I've heard of the embassy, but do all of them fall out of the sky in just random areas?
well, I don't know.
How did you get here?
Well, that wasn't his voice, so I don't remember anything from before I was put in the crystal. Well, that's not technically true. I remember a few things. I remember being held, and then I remember it seemed like a forest, some kind of dark place with trunks of some kind big. And it was humid, and then there was the crystal, and then there was the savannas, the plains, and the desert, and that is my life before the crystal.
Can you describe this forest a bit more?
It was... I don't think they were trees. I think they were like those things that we eat sometimes. The small things, they looked like a hat on a stick.
Mushrooms.
Like a big mushroom, yes.
Right.
It was big, like those, soft. I feel like soft is a big part of how I felt in that place. But then it was just the cold hardness of the crystal and darkness.
Is that ringing any bells for you, Appleby?
Sorry. What?
I don't know.
I've seen a mushroom.
Yeah, but like a big one. Like a really big one.
What?
Bigger than you.
How big am I though? Like, how big's a piece of string?
About that big.
Well, yes, some pieces of string. I can't say if what you're asking me is if I've ever eaten a mushroom. I can't say I have. I just can't say. In terms of a big, bigger than me even, maybe like a fair. It's difficult to say. I wasn't standing next to it, but probably not.
Cool. Right.
Pretty big though.
Sound. That's that theory possibly out the window. Possibly still in the window.
What theory about what?
Don't worry.
Hey, what are you trying to figure out for?
I've walked away.
It's kind of like,
Yeah, nice.
there's a few other people that get to come in on this conversation. Yeah, Quinn.
As conversation listening in, how common is like interplanetary travel with the? I don't know if that would fall under Arcana, but obviously they've read.
Give me a history check.
Cool. Yeah, I was wondering if it was like similar to like interplanar travel, or whether that's a entirely different ballgame. Beautiful. 25.
You've read about things coming to Ellseworld from other places, certainly interplanarly. You would certainly have read somewhere in the histories about the Overdark, which was this colossal plate of Earth that seems to orbit around Ellseworld that somehow came from somewhere else. Its origin was not of this kind of the planetary body that you would know as Ellseworld. It came from somewhere else. That would be definitely something that you would know of. That would be kind of certainly an interplanetary celestial object. And you'd also know, obviously, that the Callistia and a few other organizations exist on the moon.
Maybe
Or
he
moons.
descended from the Overdark.
Is that a thing that's still there?
It appears every now and again. Its orbit is quite random around Ellseworld, but it appears to. It seems to appear in times of great strife.
Oh, well, I expect we'll see it soon then.
Will I have ever seen one?
No, not in your time. I think the only person that might have would have been Shadow and Appleby,
Will
actually.
my parents have ever seen one? You told me. So if I'd read about it, I would have. Either they would have taught me or I would have asked them.
Let's see. Your mother certainly would have heard about a time when it happened. And what she sort of described, and what the two of you at the end of the table, the old fuckers, would have certainly heard about is creatures, humanoid beings, descending from the Overdark to pillage and raid the towns and places of Ellseworld that the shadow of the Overdark
I
is
just want
cast
to say
over.
Overdark. That's so fucking sick.
Yeah,
That's such a
cool as
cool
fuck.
idea. Orbiting
Thank
the
you.
fucking planet. That's so cool. Yeah. You may have descended from the Overdark, Missouri. I'm not sure where it is currently, but it is always kind of in orbit, or at least near the planetary body that is Ellseworld.
Would that have been around? You said the Overdark was around while we were still alive.
Yeah, you would have seen it at least pass over you in both your lifetimes.
Roughly 50 years ago. Does it line up with the crystal?
No,
No.
no. This would have been a couple of 100 years ago.
If he broke off while it was orbiting, it could have carried on while he just travelled and then landed here while it carried on, going elsewhere.
I suppose.
I would quite like to see this Overdark and also this embassy.
You and me both.
Maybe the embassy knew where he had from.
Well, I would presume so if they came from the same place, or at least we could try and work together to try and find out where I came from.
Well, you've only been here a few years, so like, they've been here what, 50 years, give or
About 50
take?
years at this point, yeah.
Yeah, like, so you were still location A when they've become split, so clearly wherever you're from, at least a few years ago, was still kicking about.
That would make sense, yes.
Unless you were like, maybe you're the last one. Maybe that's all that's left is the embassy and you. And anyone else who got an escape crystal.
I certainly hope that is not the case.
No, that would be horrible.
I certainly have a memory of other beings being where I came from.
It'd be like that Superman play.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, it's Krypton, but with mushrooms.
That one as well.
This isn't Candor, the bottled city. Don't shut up. But certainly, I would like to go if that was what was being suggested. He kind of looks towards Faisal and says, "Yeah, yes, that would be good. We have very limited contact with what would appear to be your people. So yes, if you could go and talk to them, perhaps find out, yes, where you all came from and what your intentions are here. If you remain to be peaceful, you are welcome here." Well, I have said to Shadow many times, I'm not a fighter, and
Yeah.
if my people have the same disposition as myself, I would expect them to be peaceful. Have they ever attacked you before? And no, like we said, there's very limited contact between the two of us.
Yeah, not entirely sure that's a problem.
How do the Gallants feel about his people? They don't like things coming from other far off places that they don't understand. And they react with violence rather than inquiry. Is it going to be a bit of a threat if we come across the Gallants, even more so than it already is?
You see,
No,
as far as
they fell from space rather than came through a portal. I don't know if something falls from the sky. They're like, yeah, someone else's problem.
They might
I guess we don't know enough about
tar
them,
them with
do
the
we?
same brush, or
They have a space division.
Yeah.
the Crimson Templars.
Fantasy.
It's the same, they've all just got fish bowls on their head.
Crimson Shield.
They don't know why.
No, this will help.
Advise our counsel. That's a good line of thinking, Quinn, but they've not openly attacked the embassy, although, like I said, there are a fair number of, we can look to, sorry, your kind there.
Again, I'm just really not a fan of this implication that just because someone is a neighbour and keeps to themselves that they should be wary.
There is a balance in Ontrath, and it is, well, at the moment it is worse than it has ever been before. I fear we are on the brink of war, and to know where your neighbours sit is no bad thing when you're running a country.
Well,
that'd be unsettling if new neighbours just drop in from the sky as well.
Well, yeah, but if they've not attacked, they've barely contacted, they've left you to your own devices, haven't tried to invade, cause trouble, or otherwise, maybe just leave them be, let them crack on.
If someone pitched up on your lawn, you wouldn't just leave them be. You'd at least, hey, what are you doing?
If you're curious about where they sit, I think Cotton had quite a close look at where this fella sits.
They have 2 more holes than I expected.
How many were you
I told you not to
expecting?
tell anyone that.
It was a very public examination.
I was there.
That's not race specific, that's just something that he's fashioned over time.
Oh no!
If they are willing to remain as a neutral party, they can remain that way. We would just like to open the discussion.
I mean, what contact have you had at all? Any?
We have sent emissaries and they have come back with refusal to talk.
Fair enough.
The crystal is well guarded and some of them, most of them, appear to live within it.
Yeah, alright. What was... Where the crystal is now, what was there before it?
It was a fairly desolate isle, part of the lands technically belonging to the Leviathan coast, although they are sort of seen as a neutral territory by most members of the Ontrath League. And the closest place to it, I believe, is the city of Demos.
Right. So it's less somebody pitching up on your lawn and more somebody building a house on land that wasn't being used.
Yes, I suppose that's closer to what you say, but...
That's another vote in favour of leaving the fuck alone. But if you're desperate to talk to them, yeah, fine.
It is not me that is desperate to talk to them, it is Mysak, the king.
He has wings, doesn't he?
It
He's
is
fly over there himself, if he's that curious. Instead of sending you to harass someone who, by the sounds of it, has very little involved with the situation.
Do you not think sending a dragon might be a show of force? I think if I saw one of my kind coming out of the sky, I'd certainly think that's something dangerous coming.
Politics are very delicate, and refusal to even have a friendly conversation raises suspicion for me.
That is why I wish perhaps you, the lot of you, could be our emissaries to this nation. It seems to be a place that, being with your intimate knowledge of Azori, your friend, you'd be well suited to be, let's say, our champions in this expedition.
I don't think it's up to us, really. Azori, how do you feel?
Thank you for asking. I would like to go, and
Of course.
from what I know of you and your people, and I think you're a pretty good judge of character. You befriended me, after all. I would say I would be happy for us to go.
Okay.
I'd like to make a request. Can we just go to like see the crystal people, find out what they're like? I don't really want to go with like political alignment. I feel like it would be disingenuous.
You're more than welcome to do as you bid.
Yeah, I was just thinking like we go scout it out rather than like, do it as a political
You
thing.
have like two goals, like the honourable one of delivering Azuri to his people and uniting him with some of his own kind.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they let us in and they're willing to talk, fantastic. If they're not, no show of force, but might have a peep. Just to see
No.
if they're a threat.
If they don't want to talk, and they've not done anything wrong, leave them alone. People are not, they don't have to give you anything just because you want it.
No, but they arrived in land that is ruled over by people who keep it safe. If they want to be a part of that, that's absolutely fine.
It's a long way.
It is a long way, so we've got a lot of time to decide.
We've been travelling in the wrong direction as well. I'm going to the tea.
As you kind of like, get the map out, you kind of point it out on the map there.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness.
It is quite a way away.
But then again, I was in the Cape of Borea not 2 days ago.
Kind of everyone turns at that point.
Excuse me.
At least, the NPCs who haven't heard this yet. You were where? Sorry?
Cape of Borea. You know, the top.
Right.
Yeah, it was just like almost like a holiday, except it was there for like a few hours. Killed a hag.
Right. Give me a straight charisma check.
Give me an Appleby check.
Yeah, give me
There's no way to
a
discern
straight Appleby check.
deception and fucking
Performance all in one.
intimidation or like. Oh wow! Just straight charisma.
Yeah.
That's 5.
Oh.
I don't believe you. As he and then kind of like walks off.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
You kind of Shadow, as this kind of conversation concludes, Azori kind of comes up to you. Appreciate your looking out for my kind. You've always been a good friend to me.
Yeah, no worries.
I appreciate it. I am not someone you are bound or by blood you should protect, so I am grateful.
Well, yeah, you've done nothing wrong by me, mate, so I'll be doing the same.
But that is why I follow you around. Also,
Thank
it's
you.
quite interesting.
Yeah, they're a interesting bunch.
What do you make of them?
I like them.
They seem certainly quite interesting.
I think there's a lot of potential.
Just coroner walks past like, colonoscopy, anyone? Anyone?
I am concerned they're malfunctioning.
They did seem to want to look at my butt quite a lot.
They're just into you.
Yeah, maybe they're just that way inclined.
Kind of like Azori looks around, kind of like looks up and down over a coroner.
They've got a book out explaining the 4 humours.
How does it work with them?
You'd have to ask. I've not thought about it. And I don't wish to.
Was the coroner pulled while giving an ass examination?
Yeah, probably.
Nice.
Shadow's enormous, just disinterest in everything.
It's just for my own mental health more than if I don't think about it, it's not happening. Yeah. I just take umbrage with people thinking that just because you're close, you need to divulge everything. Like, everything over here is so far beyond home. And I don't trust it.
Well, if you look at it this way, if you think it's far for you, think about how it is for me.
Fair fucking point.
I am not... Well, although I suppose I also don't know where I came from, so... It's all a bit of a mystery to me.
Yeah.
What's the guy called again? Sorry, Squid Guy.
Azori Moonstone.
Cool, yeah.
Thank you.
It used to be Azori Moonstar.
Oh, shit. Well, now it's Moonstone.
Yep. No, it's fine. It was like in one of the follow-up messages, it was Moonstone. I was like, sick. I don't care. This is your world.
Well, yeah, as this second night of camping down goes through, with a few conversations about morality once again cropping up in the group. Quinn, something you notice at about 3 a.m. in the morning as you are once again using the light of the moon and witching hour to inscribe your spells once again to your spellbook. Just do a few kind of magical rituals, kind of empowering the kind of magic that is within your spellbook and linking it to yourself. You begin to see this faint blue glow begin to emanate from your bag. You instantly recognise this as the same blue energy that was used when Gothrond transpositioned through the crystal for the first time.
Guys,
Incoming.
I pull back from it.
Cool. As you do that, could everyone just give me a perception check to see how quickly they notice Quinn shouting out this call out?
I'm on alert mode, like
Yeah.
sleep. So I get anything with it? Or
Yeah, I'll say you can have this at advantage.
I got my inspiration.
Nice.
Question. Is
Yes.
this going to be the last roll of the session, or are we going to do initiative this session as well?
I would say this is probably going to be the last roll of the session.
In that case, I got a nat 20.
Okay, brilliant.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, going around. Read.
I just burned an inspiration point to get an natural 20.
Oh, nice. Quinn.
It's me throwing it, so.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you're very aware of the
Yes, you
situation.
are aware.
16, but do I get to add a 1 to one of my checks?
You can add a 1 to one of your
Yeah,
checks.
so I'll make it 17.
Cool. Nice. Natural 20.
25.
25. Nice. Radio.
It's an 11.
11?
I had my +1.
And your +1? Yes. Cool. Let me see. Quinn, just give me a let's say you can just add one of your ability modifiers here, one of your skills that you're proficient in as you try to gather the attention of the group.
Cool. Let's go for charisma.
Cool.
That makes sense. +4. Boom. 10.
10, nice. You kind of shout this thing out, throwing the crystal. Certainly anyone that got above a 10 would hear this cry out as you are all roused from your resting or slumber in this kind of countdown, being a bit more of a casual situation, which will allow you all to operate in the initial round of combat, which we will roll into next session. As Quinn, you see, as you throw this crystal, a humanoid form begins to coalesce in the space where the crystal kind of was at that moment. As it begins to fly and arc a little bit further, landing on the ground, you all see through the light of this glowing blue crystal behind him, this figure in full shining red armor bears his sword, points it at you, shield in his other hand, and says, "I am Paladin Dananesk of the Order of the Vigilance, and I sentence you to death, traitor." And that is where we will cut out of the session.
Reigns. I believe we met Mr. Reigns.
As we will, cut out of the session there. Pre-initiative, as a gallant appears to have
What was his name? Sorry, what did he say?
Paladin Danatesk.
Oh, Danatesk.
So points the sword at Quinn.
Points the sword directly at Quinn, and yes,
I am
my
a
father,
paladin.
prepare to die.
Yeah.
something along those.
Yeah.
You killed my father, preferred to
You see, he has a pretty nice
No, you
mustache
killed
on that.
my father, prepare to die.
So yeah, thank you very much for watching this session of Ellseworld. That is where we're going to be ending for tonight.
Sorry, Keith, we know you've only just tuned in, but
We're all sleepy babies.
Yeah,
Everyone's going to bed.
It's been a weekend.
It has been a bit of a weekend.
God.
So that is where we're going to call this session. But in 2 weeks' time, we will pick up directly from this moment, combat between Danatesk and the party, as you have your first ever camp down slightly interrupted here due to that transposition crystal. Yeah, thank you very much for everyone who watched. Thank you to my lovely players. And if we have any plugs, let's do them now. I don't actually need to pee today, so
Oh,
I'll actually
sweet.
be there for the plugs.
has everyone heard of Dungeoneer's Pack? Just out of interest.
Engineers?
Remind me.
Rings a bell.
Oh,
Remind
well,
us.
It's an Instagram
I
page.
think that's for a host by them.
Yeah, it's mostly just D&D homebrew content that you can use in your games or use it just for story writing inspiration a lot of the time. We've got items, D12 tables, and a wild card post, which is different every month. We post 3 times a week. There's a whole load of D&D content on there. And if you enjoyed the way that Elliot sort of has put a spin on the travel in this campaign, then you can find out all about how he does that on our Dungeoneers Pack Instagram account, Dungeoneers
More
_
simple
Pack.
than I make it seem.
There's a link in the chat just there for you. And there's a whole load of mechanics that Dan's put in there as well, which are really cool.
And a new spell.
We're doing homebrew spells this month.
Yeah, homebrew spell. The first one went out 2 days ago, maybe.
The other day.
The other
Yeah.
day.
It's called Accelerated Decomposition.
Yeah.
Go ahead and check it out. It's one of
Read that
it's one of
spell.
my
Kind
ones.
of like a counter to that one where you stop them from decomposing.
Gentle repose.
That's the one.
Gentle Decompose.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not gentle.
Decompose.
But yeah, check out that. Follow us on the Patreon.
Yeah, you might have seen that at the end there, Cal used a natural 20 that they were granted from the Patreon.
That's nice of them.
Yeah, so that's something you can do if you go to the
For
Patreon.
£5, you get in that poll, so the advantage, disadvantage, and that 20 and crit fail every single time we play D&D.
So you can make the game exactly what you want it to be.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
really
Hold it to your
Yeah.
will. What else
That's
can you
a
get in the
minimum.
Patreon as well?
You, apart from the minimum of
Tell
8
us
polls
more.
every month, you also get in on some high quality Dungeoneers Pack art. There's also the added bonus of we do like game nights where you can join us and play video games. And we also do D&D creative stuff, lots of good things. You should check out the Patreon, have a look, have a peek.
I think Jams was hinting at the fact that they do welcome sketches for anyone who signs up to
that's
the
what I was
Patreon.
saying. But also, everyone who does join the Patreon, the first month that you do, you will also get a welcome sketch from me as an extra little bonus thank you. I have not yet finished the ones for our current patrons, but I will be getting them done this month.
Correct.
So I'll be posting those as examples so that you can see an idea of what you can get a hold of. But yeah, check that out as well as an extra little bonus, as like a little welcome gift.
What can they do if they want to see more of your art?
If you want to see more of my art, including some excellent rodeo stuff that I did that Instagram decided to blacklist because it doesn't like pictures of guns, that was a wild discovery.
Yeah.
Instagram cross gun grandma, and they are going to pay.
I'm absolutely fucking furious because I worked so hard on that artwork and no one got to see it. So if you want to see what Rodeo's ass looks like, check me out on Instagram at JamsCanDraw. You can also
It's good.
find me. It's good. It's great. I spent a long time drawing it. You can check me out at JamsCanDraw on Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr. If you want more bonus sketches from me, you can also join my little membership club over on Ko-fi, which is also under the username JamsCanDraw. I think I have 1 slot left for this month for the £5 a month club, where you can get a bonus little sketch from me every month alongside a bunch of extra little perks that will this is quite a new thing for me, so I'm starting like adding more incentives as I go along. So probably starting next month there will be more interactive stuff. I'm going to be introducing some more polls so that you can vote on content that I create, more suggestions from the audience, etc., etc. So if that kind of thing interests you and you would like to support me in my work, you can check that out as well. Also, follow me on Twitch.
Yeah.
I'm on
Jam
Twitch
streams now.
Jams can stream.
Jams can stream most Thursday evenings from like 8 BST. Follow me over there. I'll be drawing a bunch of stuff, chatting along with the team. I'm currently trying to get to 50 followers so that I can aim for the Twitch affiliate little label.
Sweet. Pretty nice
But
perks.
the first milestone that I have to hit is 50 followers, and I'm currently on 30. So if you would like to help me get to that first little milestone before the end of the summer,
that's very
Can
nice.
we get a link on the stream?
Yeah.
Sure thing. It's twitch.tv/ajamscandraw.
Kane's on it.
I'll
Kane's
get you on it.
Do it.
You carry on talking about it.
But yeah,
You better
that's.
get me admin privileges or something.
You have to apply to be a mod like everybody
I'm
else.
writing a CV.
But yeah, check that out. Also, we will do another art stream over on Heroes Grove soon. Basically, if I'm not streaming Thursday nights on my channel, we'll be doing them over here on Heroes Grove with Jamie. We're not going to stop doing those. It's just I started doing streams on my channel just because
We should get.
we're busy.
terrible.
We're not. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jamie's got a busy life,
Yeah.
and we don't always align our schedules. So we'll also be doing some D&D art streams at some point soon. I would like to get a couple of you guys on to talk about your characters, do a couple of bits of art of your characters, of the NPCs, various like cool things that have happened in the campaign so far. Basically like a little mini Ellseworld podcast, but with pictures.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that as well. Once we're going to organise one of those as well.
Also, our mate. Sorry,
I think
carry on.
that's everything from me.
Our mate Annie
Very
makes
much.
things out of fabric.
Store's closed.
The store's closed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
no,
But
it's
if you
not-
want, great at it.
Yeah, she's still very good at it. If you want any, fuck yourself. And lastly,
I mean, you can do lastly and I'll do lastly.
yeah, I'll do lastly, and you can do not leastly.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. So lastly for me, any of you cool punk anarchists out there, Kissander, I'm looking at you. My band just announced our new single, Don't Lick the Boot That Kicks. It's out on the 19th of August. Follow us on Spotify.
You'll love it.
Yeah, if you hate the Tories or any other Conservative party, or just shoes.
Or licking.
Go
You ain't a toe freak. Ain't for you.
follow us on Spotify. It's Wildcat Boozy. Just look us up, and we'll appear on your release radar when the song comes out.
That is such a wild statement. I love that so much.
I think that's my lastly. Cal, what's your not leastly?
Not leastly, speaking of toe freaks,
I'd rather not.
yeah, same. Catch me at Wardrobe Theatre tomorrow with Rainbow Milk Poetry. It was Pride this weekend. I could not make it on the Saturday, so I'm turning up on the Monday to do some poems. Like, there's a big old discussion in my brain about whether or not I should do queer poems or whether or not all of my poems are inherently queer, because I am. So, you know, I'm going to try and work out what the fuck my set list is for that. But by tomorrow night. Tuesday, catch me in Birmingham with, if I say me, I will be there, but I'm not part of the event. But for the Verve Poetry Press open mic night with Joel Taylor, Jemima Hughes, Sam Grudging, Siley Katebe, and one other person whose name I don't know. So I can't plug you that you exist, but you will be there. And you will be too, audience members who are in Birmingham. And then on Saturday, find me at Bristol Harbour Fest, opening the Poetry and Words stage. I think that's what it's called. I'll be doing poetry this weekend.
God, everyone's doing so much stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot happening. Please kill me.
Go see Cal do their
I
poetry.
refuse.
Go follow
Later.
Jams. Go follow Dungeoneers Pack. I want to say one more thank you to my lovely players, though, 'cause that was an RP heavy session.
that was
And
delightful.
you guys held up your end of the RP very, very well, and always a pleasure to play with y'all. But yeah, thank you very much for watching as well. Lovely to stream for y'all, and have a nice long rest in the Grove. We'll see you very
See you
soon.
soon.
Stay grovey. You
Au revoir.
Bye.
Au revoir.
lovely heroes.